This one is not for the faint-hearted. So we've talked before on here about the importance of not transferring the ownership of your main residence to your children during lifetime. This is a client I've spoken to this week. What we got the dad. Mother passed away. Dad inherited the house directly. Yeah, so when the mother passed away, it just came to him because it was jointly owned. So dad owned the house 100%. What dad decided to do was he decided, in order to reduce down my inheritance tax liability, what I'm going to do, and to protect the property against any care fees and all the rest of it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the ownership to my son. Okay, so that's exactly what he did. He transferred the ownership of his property to his son. There's a couple of things here, and we'll get on to the main point. Couple of things. First of all, okay, when he transfers the property over to his son, it's called a gift with reservation of benefit. So what I mean by that is that he's gifted the property thinking that it's actually going to reduce his estate down for inheritance tax purposes. But ultimately that doesn't work, because what he's done is he's gifted the property and remained living in the property. So he's retained the benefit from that gift, which means that the value of the property hasn't actually left his estate for inheritance tax purposes at all. The property itself is now also sitting in the son's estate here. Come to this in a minute. Also, because he's transferred the property to the son doesn't live in this property. So he's transferred the property to the son. He doesn't live in the property. But when the dad dies and the son then decides to sell this property, as it were, because he wants his inheritance or whatever, he decides to sell it, because this is not his main residence, he ends up paying capital gains on the property because it's classed as a second property to him, because he's now got his own house over here. The most important part of this, and this is so important, and poor old dad here is feeling the pain from this. Now, the son was married. When he gifted the house to the son was married. Do you know what's happening with the son now? He's going through a divorce. And as part of the divorce proceedings, what do you think's attackable? Dad's house. Poor old dad's now having to move out of his house that he owned with his wife because he transferred it to his son, and his son's now going through a divorce. Yeah, so his dad here's now got to find himself somewhere else to live because of the fact ultimately he transferred that house and the title of the house and the ownership of the house to his son during his lifetime. Do not do it. If you've got a main residence and you're thinking about transferring the ownership to your children during lifetime, do not do it. This is so important. There's other ways you can put the property. How do you put the property into trust, for instance? Yeah, he still would have protected the property and such like. It wouldn't have mitigated inheritance tax, obviously. But again, he could have protected that property. He didn't need to give it to his son. So, moral of the story, keep it. If you own a property, keep it in your own names, your main residence in your own name. Do not transfer it across to your children during lifetime. Otherwise, you could end up like the dad. Hope you found that interesting. Again, if you need anything from us, obviously email us or on the address above, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next one.